In the vast expanse of the United States, beyond the bustling cities and well-trodden paths, there exists a world that few dare to acknowledge. This world is shrouded in darkness, hidden in the shadowy corners of forgotten towns, dense forests and desolate highways. It's a place where the ordinary meets the extraordinary and the natural collides with the supernatural. This is the story of what lurks in the shadows of the USA, a tale of unseen forces that have existed for centuries, feeding on the fears of the unsuspecting. Chapter 1. The Whispering Woods of the Pacific Northwest. In the deep, rain-soaked forests of the Pacific Northwest, there's a place known only to a few as the Whispering Woods. The locals speak of it in hushed tones, warning travelers to avoid it at all costs. For those who wander too deep into these woods, often hear voices, soft, almost indistinct whispers that seem to come from the trees themselves. Legend has it that the Whispering Woods are home to the Wendigo, a malevolent spirit that preys on those lost in the forest. The Wendigo is said to be a creature of insatiable hunger, driven mad by the need to consume human flesh. But the Wendigo isn't the only entity that lurks in these woods. There are tales of shadowy figures barely visible in the periphery of one's vision that stalk those who dare to enter. These shadows are said to be the spirits of those who have fallen victim to the Wendigo, eternally trapped in the forest, doomed to wander in search of release. Chapter 2. The Haunting of Route 66. Stretching from Chicago to Santa Monica, Route 66 is more than just a historic highway. It's a road haunted by the past. Along its winding path, there are numerous reports of ghostly apparitions, unexplained phenomena, and chilling encounters that defy explanation. One of the most infamous spots on Route 66 is the stretch of road near Galena, Kansas. Here, travelers have reported seeing a mysterious woman in white standing on the side of the road, her eyes hollow and her expression forlorn. Those who stop to help her find that she vanishes as they approach, leaving behind only a lingering sense of dread. Some say she's the ghost of a woman who died in a car crash decades ago, still searching for her lost love. Others believe she's something far more sinister, a lure designed to lead the unwary to their doom. But the woman in white isn't the only spectral presence on Route 66. In the deserts of Arizona, there are stories of phantom hitchhikers who disappear without a trace once they reach their destination. And in the ghost towns that dot the highway, visitors have reported hearing disembodied voices and footsteps echoing through the empty streets. Chapter 3. The Cursed Town of Dudleytown. Nestled in the hills of Connecticut lies the abandoned town of Dudleytown, often referred to as the Village of the Damned. Founded in the mid-1700s, Dudleytown was once a thriving community, but over time it became a place of death and despair. The town's founders, the Dudley family, were said to be cursed, and this curse extended to anyone who lived in the town. Tragedy after tragedy befell Dudleytown. People went mad, children disappeared, and those who stayed too long either died or left, never to return. Today the town is nothing more than a collection of ruins, but the curse remains. Visitors who dare to explore the area often report a deep sense of unease, as if they're being watched by unseen eyes. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures darting between the trees, while others have heard strange noises, whispers, footsteps, and even the sound of children laughing. Theories about the curse of Dudleytown range from the paranormal to the psychological. Some believe that the town was built on land that was sacred to the Native Americans, and the curse is a result of disturbing the spirits that dwell there. Others think that the dark history of the Dudley family, whose ancestors were involved in witch hunts and other nefarious activities, has left a stain on the land that can never be washed away.
New Orleans, a city of music, mystery and magic. It's a place where the past lingers. Every brick, every cobblestone whispers with stories. Many are filled with joy, others with terror. New Orleans is a city built on a foundation of shadows. It's a place where the veil between our world and the next seems thin. The French Quarter, with its wrought iron balconies and gaslit streets, holds secrets. Voodoo rituals once thrived here. Pirates and gamblers walked these streets. Death, too, has always been a constant companion. Yellow fever outbreaks decimated the population. Hurricanes raged, leaving destruction in their wake. These events, both joyous and tragic, have left their mark. New Orleans is a city haunted by its past. It's a place where the dead refuse to stay buried. And in the heart of this haunted city, a terrifying legend was born: the Night Stalkers. The early 1800s, New Orleans was a melting pot of cultures. French, Spanish, African, and Caribbean influences mixed, creating a unique and vibrant society. But beneath the surface, darkness lurked. Stories began to circulate, whispers of terrifying creatures stalking the night. These were not ordinary criminals, they were something else, something more sinister. People called them the Night Stalkers. They were described as tall, shadowy figures. Their eyes glowed red in the darkness. Some witnesses claimed they had long, sharp claws. The Night Stalkers seemed to vanish into thin air. They left no trace, only terror in their wake. The stories spread like wildfire. Fear gripped the city. Parents kept their children inside at night. The bravest souls were afraid to venture out alone after dark. The legend of the Night Stalkers had begun. One night, a young woman named Marie was walking home alone. She had been visiting a friend in the French Quarter. The streets were deserted. A chill wind howled through the alleys. Marie quickened her pace. She felt a presence behind her. She turned and saw a tall, dark figure. It was shrouded in shadows. Its eyes glowed red in the darkness. Marie froze. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. The figure lunged at her. Marie closed her eyes and waited for the worst, but the attack never came. When she opened her eyes, the figure was gone. Marie ran home as fast as she could. She slammed the door shut and bolted it. She never forgot the terror she felt that night. Her story became a chilling reminder of the danger lurking in the shadows. As the years passed, more and more people claimed to have encountered the Night Stalkers. The stories became more elaborate, more terrifying. Some said the Night Stalkers were the spirits of Confederate soldiers. Others whispered that they were escaped slaves seeking revenge. The legend spread beyond the French Quarter. It reached the bayous and swamps surrounding the city. Some believed the Night Stalkers were creatures of the swamp. They lurked in the shadows, waiting to drag their victims into the murky depths. The authorities dismissed the stories. They called them superstition. But the people of New Orleans knew better. There was something evil in their midst, something ancient and powerful. Section 5, the Voodoo Connection. Exploring the supernatural roots of the Night Stalkers. New Orleans has always been a city steeped in voodoo. It's a religion shrouded in mystery. Its practitioners claim to command powerful forces. Could the Night Stalkers be the result of a voodoo curse? Some believe they are demonic entities summoned by a vengeful practitioner. Others say they are the spirits of sacrificed animals, twisted and given malevolent life. The truth remains elusive. But the possibility of a connection between voodoo and the Night Stalkers is too strong to ignore. The rituals of voodoo are said to be capable of both healing and harm. Could someone have unleashed a force they couldn't control? Did their dark intentions give birth to the Night Stalkers? Section 6. Restless spirits. Could the Night Stalkers be trapped souls? New Orleans has witnessed countless tragedies. Yellow fever epidemics, hurricanes, and violent crimes have left their mark on the city's soul. Could the Night Stalkers be the restless spirits of those who died tragically? Are they searching for peace, or are they seeking revenge? The idea of vengeful spirits is a recurring theme in ghost stories around the world, and it's easy to see how the tragic history of New Orleans could fuel such beliefs. Perhaps the Night Stalkers are not demons or cursed creatures. Maybe they are simply lost souls, unable to find peace. Trapped between worlds, their anger and despair manifest as terrifying apparitions. Section 7. Shadows and Science Rational Explanations for the Unexplained. While the supernatural explanations for the Night Stalkers are intriguing, it's important to consider other possibilities. Could there be a more rational explanation for these sightings? Some researchers believe the Night Stalkers could be a form of mass hysteria. In times of stress and uncertainty, people are more susceptible to suggestion. Rumors and fears can spread quickly, creating a climate of paranoia. This could lead to misinterpretations of ordinary events. Shadows become monsters. The wind howling through the trees becomes a growl. Another theory is that the Night Stalkers are simply criminals using the legend to their advantage. The fear surrounding the Night Stalkers could provide cover for their activities. Section 8. The Power of Belief. Why we cling to urban legends. Whether the Night Stalkers are real or not, the legend continues to fascinate and terrify. Why are we so drawn to these stories? Urban legends like the Night Stalkers tap into our deepest fears. They remind us that the world can be a dark and dangerous place. They also offer a sense of community. Sharing these stories connects us with others who share our fears and fascinations. In a way, these legends serve as a warning. They remind us to be careful, to be aware of our surroundings, and to never underestimate the power of the unknown. We tell these stories to entertain, to warn, but most importantly, to remind ourselves that there are still mysteries in the world. Section 9. Conclusion. The Night Stalkers, a haunting reminder of New Orleans' mysterious side. The Night Stalkers remain a chilling mystery. Are they creatures of the supernatural, figments of our collective imagination, or something else entirely? The answer may never be known for sure, but one thing is certain. The legend of the Night Stalkers will continue to haunt the streets of New Orleans for generations to come. They are a reminder that even in the bright light of day, shadows linger, and in those shadows, anything is possible. The next time you find yourself wandering the French Quarter after dark, listen closely. You might just hear the whisper of a shadow or the echo of a scream, and remember, the Night Stalkers are always watching.
In the heart of the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, there is a creature so feared that it has become a part of local lore, the Jersey Devil. Descriptions of the beast vary, but most agree that it has the body of a kangaroo, the head of a goat, bat-like wings and glowing red eyes. The legend of the Jersey Devil dates back to the early 1700s, when a woman named Mother Leeds cursed her unborn 13th child, declaring that it would be the devil itself. According to the legend, when the child was born, it transformed into a monstrous creature and flew into the woods, where it has lived ever since, terrorizing the people of New Jersey. Over the centuries, there have been numerous sightings of the Jersey Devil, with reports ranging from eerie sounds echoing through the forests to actual encounters with the creature itself. It is said to screech like a banshee and fly at incredible speeds, disappearing before anyone can get a good look. One of the most famous sightings occurred in 1909, when the Jersey Devil was reportedly seen by hundreds of people across the state. Newspapers published stories of the creature's appearance, and panic spread throughout the region. Even today, locals in the Pine Barrens claim to hear strange noises in the night and see large, unidentifiable tracks in the woods. Whether it's a figment of imagination or a real creature, the Jersey Devil continues to haunt the shadows of New Jersey. In the arid deserts and canyons of the American Southwest, particularly in Navajo territory, there is a creature feared above all others, the skinwalker. In Navajo culture, skinwalkers are witches who have the ability to shapeshift into animals or other people. These beings are said to be malevolent, using their powers to wreak havoc, cause illness, and even kill. Sightings of skinwalkers are rare, but those who have encountered them describe an overwhelming sense of terror. They are said to move with unnatural speed and grace, often appearing as coyotes, wolves, or other predatory animals. Sometimes they take on human form, their eyes glowing in the dark as they stalk their prey. Skinwalkers are nearly impossible to kill, and those who speak of them often do so with great caution, fearing that merely mentioning them will attract their attention. One chilling tale comes from a group of campers in the Four Corners region where Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah meet. While sitting around a fire, they heard strange, guttural noises coming from the surrounding desert. When they shined their flashlights, they saw what looked like a wolf standing on its hind legs, watching them from the shadows. The creature quickly disappeared, but the campers were left with a sense of being watched for the rest of the night. The Navajo believe that only powerful shamans can defeat a skinwalker, and even then, it's a dangerous task. For most, the best course of action is to avoid mentioning or confronting these creatures, leaving them to lurk in the shadows, unseen and unchallenged. Far to the north, in the remote wilderness of Alaska, lies a deserted village with a dark history. Port Chatham was once a thriving fishing community, But in the 1940s, the town was mysteriously abandoned. According to reports, something was stalking the residents, something large, dark, and aggressive. Locals began to find mutilated bodies in the forest, and many believed that a creature known as the Nantinak, a Sasquatch-like being, was responsible. As the sightings and attacks increased, the fear among the townspeople grew until, one by one, they packed up and left, never to return. The government attempted to investigate the disappearances, but no official explanation was ever provided. Today, Port Chatham remains abandoned, and those brave enough to visit report an oppressive sense of dread, as if something is watching them from the dense woods. The Nantinak is said to be much more than a simple cryptid. It is believed to have supernatural powers, allowing it to evade capture and appear only when it chooses. The few who claim to have seen it describe it as towering, covered in thick dark fur, with eyes that seem to glow in the dim Alaskan light. Despite its isolation, Port Chatham's legend persists, a chilling reminder of what might be waiting in the darkest corners of the earth. The USA is a land of endless landscapes and diverse cultures, but it is also a land where the shadows stretch long and deep. From the remote forests of the Pacific Northwest to the ancient deserts of the Southwest, from the bustling streets of New Orleans to the quiet suburbs, there is a hidden world that lies just beyond the veil of our understanding. These shadows never die. They only wait for the night, when the boundaries between our world and theirs blur, and what lurks in the darkness steps forward.